Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm the Gobby Englishman, an English teacher. I've been living abroad for nearly a decade. I'm just a bloke with a brew and a bloody opinion. I see the state of things and I'm not happy. I see what's happening to my country and it makes me sad. So put the kettle on, pour yourself a pint, whatever, let's have a proper chat. I have an opinion about a few things and I just want to share them with you. If you want to join in, please drop something in the chat. So let's start with a simple question. Why is it that some people get to say whatever they like and others get told to shut up? Because that's what's happening, isn't it? You've probably felt it yourself. You're in a conversation, you're at work, you're online, you're around the dinner table, wherever it may be, and suddenly there are like invisible tripwires everywhere. One wrong word, one honest comment, you give an opinion, even politely said, and bang. You're not just disagreed with, you're suspect, you're somehow a problem, you're troublesome, you're somehow a wrong one. Yes? And here's a strange thing, it's not about whether you're telling the truth. It's more about whether your truth fits the message, whether it passes the vibe check. Is it appropriate to say? Is it the right opinion at the right time? Does it offend the narrative somehow? We've slipped into a world of acceptable opinions. You can challenge some things, celebrate them even, but question other things and suddenly you're out of line. You can say things like British history is a shameful legacy built entirely on exploitation. That's okay, that's acceptable. There was a time when we used to celebrate British accomplishments. But if you were to say something like, yes, there were injustices, we all know about those, but Britain has also built a system of laws, trade, governance that has benefited huge parts of the world. Well, that is problematic. Sounds a bit empire apologist, doesn't it? We'll try this one. Children should explore identity freely. That's a common phrase that you might hear. Of course, brave, it's progressive, it's living their life as they should do. But if you say something like, maybe an 11-year-old isn't quite emotionally mature enough to make irreversible decisions about their bodies, that's dangerous. Now you're a bigot. So you see the point, yes. Sit down. These aren't hateful views, though. They're not wild conspiracy theories. They're common sense thoughts held by millions. But they don't make the cut. They're not on script. So we're told to zip it. You can't talk about such things. It's wrong to do so. And let's talk about the new clergy for a second. What do I mean by that? Well, in the past, the church told you what to believe. Now it's corporate media, HR departments, pop academics on TikTok, issuing moral commandments in hashtag form. They don't say, here's an idea, what do you think? They say, this is the idea, accept it or else. Now they speak in slogans, they moralize in metrics. They don't debate, they declare. You're not invited to think, you're told what the correct thinking is. And if you dare push back, well, that just shows you're part of the problem. You're some kind of Nazi, you're some kind of fascist, you've got the wrong opinions. And no, you don't need to be on telly or in Parliament or somehow a public figure to get cancelled. These days, you can lose out for saying things like, I think women's sports should be protected for biological females. Well, transphobe alert. Men and women are equal, but they're not the same. They're not identical. Sexist granddad. Mass immigration, that should be debated openly. It's a policy choice, not a moral fact. Dog whistle, far right, extremist, don't question it. So you don't have to shout, you don't have to be rude. Just saying things plainly without apology can now get you frozen out, reported, labelled as a concern. You could get a knock on the door from the police for expressing an opinion that is your honest opinion, even if you've done it in a respectful manner. It's no longer the way you say it, it's just the fact of you having said it. And people know it, so they stop talking. They feel they're gagged. They nod, they smile, they stay silent, but they hold those opinions still. And something valuable dies in the room. Honest conversation. I see this in my own work, week in, week out. I teach English to adults, professionals, clever people, creative minds. And you think that maybe a classroom or an online discussion would be the safest place to ask questions, to challenge ideas, and to get it wrong. But more and more people I get saying to me, oh, I can't really say that, can I? Or is it okay? Is it acceptable to use that kind of language? Will it make me sound ignorant? Or will it worse, make me sound offensive? It's not racist stuff. It's not crude or extreme stuff. It's just things like, why do some women feel unsafe in changing rooms nowadays? Why can't we say that British values are a good thing? You can't say those things because it somehow puts you on the bigot spectrum or the nationalist spectrum. These aren't outrageous statements. They're just questions, but people are scared to even ask them. One student actually said to me quietly, I didn't say that because I wasn't sure. Is it okay to say this in a public setting? I'm not sure whether it's okay. And that's sad. Yeah? He didn't want to be right in the wrong way, even though the thing he was asking was perfectly acceptable. And that says it all. It's not about what you say so much as whether it fits the appropriate narrative that we're being told we should have at this time. So let me ask you, when was the last time you bit your tongue? When was the last time you didn't say something? Not because you were unsure, not because you were trying to be polite, but simply because you knew it wasn't the approved view. It wasn't the view that you should hold. I'm sure we've all done it to some degree. Because you were scared to look, I don't know, you were scared to look somehow out of touch. You were scared to somehow stand out as different. That's a very real fear for some people. Because in 2025, having the right ideas isn't enough. You need the right tone, you need the right timing, you need the right social credentials, or you're out. So, we used to be able to sit in the pub, have a pint, sit at home, have a cup of tea, round the dinner table, debate stuff. We'd argue, we'd have a laugh, we agree to disagree. Now, you need a health and safety disclaimer. You need to have caveats. This isn't my opinion, but you feel the need to put a disclaimer before giving an opinion. But listen, you don't need permission to speak. You need guts, not rage, not outrage, just guts. To stay calm, to ask the obvious questions, to say what's true, even if it makes people scrum a bit. But if ordinary, decent people like you and I, if we just go quiet, what's left? Noise, posturing, virtue signaling. So speak up, speak clearly, speak respectfully, but don't wait for permission because they're not going to give it to you. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Come back next time.